Good morning, students, and welcome back to another episode of the UK and Europe Study Abroad series from Jagannath Consultants. Today, we are going to talk about a destination that is rapidly becoming one of the most interesting choice for Indian students, Europe. For many years, students mainly looked towards countries like the United States, Canada, the United Kingdom, Australia, New Zealand, but the study abroad landscape is changing, and students today are asking different questions. They want quality education, manageable costs, international exposure, career opportunities, and most importantly, a pathway that makes sense for their future. So, in this presentation, let's understand why Europe deserves a serious place on your study abroad shortlist for 2027 and beyond. The traditional choices are changing. For a long time, the study abroad conversation was quite predictable. If you wanted to study internationally, the first destinations that came to mind were the USA, Canada, the UK, Australia, and New Zealand. These countries continue to offer excellent universities and opportunities, but the reality for international students has become more complicated. Higher overall expenses, changing immigration policies, competitive job markets, and uncertainty around long-term pathways are making students look beyond the traditional five. And that is where Europe enters the conversation. Not as a replacement for every destination, but as a much broader set of alternatives. The world of international education is changing, and so are students' priorities. A few years ago, the biggest question was often which country has the best university. Today, students are asking much more practical questions. How much will the complete degree cost? What about living expenses? How difficult is the visa process? What happens after graduation? And what kind of career opportunities can I realistically expect? This shift in priorities is one of the biggest reasons Europe has become so relevant. Students are no longer looking only for a degree. They are now looking for value, security, and global opportunity. Europe offers something very different from looking at education as simply a classroom experience. Yes, there are world-class universities, but students can also experience multicultural environments, international communities, diverse lifestyles, and exposure to multiple economies. And importantly, Europe is not one single education system. Germany can appeal strongly to engineering and tech students. Italy can be attractive for design, architecture, and business programs. France has enormous strengths in business, luxury, engineering, and sciences. The Netherlands, Ireland, Spain, and many other destinations add even more possibilities. So, instead of asking, is Europe good? The better question is, which European country is right for me? Now comes to one of the biggest questions every Indian student and parent asks, the cost. Studying abroad is a major financial decision. So looking only at tuition fees is not enough. So you need to consider tuition, accommodation, food, insurance, transportation, travel, and the overall cost of living. This is where certain European destination can become particularly interesting. Depending on the country, university, and program, students may find opportunities with a more manageable overall investment compared to some traditional destinations. But remember, Europe is not automatically cheap. The smart approach is to compare the complete cost of education, not just the tuition fee. Affordability is only useful when it comes with quality. And this is another major strength of Europe. European universities have a long history of academic excellence, research, and innovation, with institutions recognized internationally across a wide range of disciplines. Whether your interest is in engineering, business, healthcare, technology, design, architecture, or sustainability, Europe offers a very broad academic ecosystem, and your degree is only one part of the value. You are also gaining exposure to international teaching methods, research environments, and classmates from different parts of the world. So the objective should always be quality education with global relevance. Of course, studying abroad is not just about getting a degree. For most students, the bigger question is what happens after graduation. Europe has several major economic and industrial centers with strong sectors across technology, engineering, finance, healthcare, automotive, pharmaceuticals, manufacturing, business, and creative industries. The right university can also provide opportunities for internships, project, and employer interactions. That experience can become extremely valuable when you start building your career. So when choosing a program, don't just ask about rankings. Ask about skills, industry connections, internships, and employability. Another reason Europe stands apart is the experience outside the classroom. Imagine studying in one country while being surrounded by people from dozens of different nationalities, languages, and cultural backgrounds. You don't simply learn from textbooks, you learn from people. You experience different cuisines, traditions, lifestyles, and ways of thinking. And because European countries are geographically close to one another, students can also explore different culture and destinations during their study journey, subject of course to their travel and visa conditions. This international exposure can build confidence, adaptability, and communication skills, qualities that employers increasingly value. In Europe, education can become an experience that shapes you as a person as well. One of the biggest advantages of considering Europe is the sheer variety of academic choices. Whether you are interested in business and management, engineering and technology, healthcare, social sciences, design, architecture, or sustainability, there are programs across the continent. And this is where personalized counseling becomes important. The question isn't simply which country should I choose? Instead, we need to understand your academic background, your interests, your budget, and your career objectives, and then identify the countries and the universities that actually fit to your profile. One continent can offer many different paths. The challenge is finding the right one. So, why are we talking about Europe right now? Because the international education market is evolving. Students are becoming more cost conscious, parents are looking more carefully at return on investments, and students increasingly want international exposure without making an unnecessarily expensive decision. Europe offers a combination of factors worth exploring: academic quality, different cost structures, international environments, career opportunities, and access to multiple countries and cultures. But the key word here is explore. Don't choose Europe simply because someone says it is cheaper. Choose it when the program, university, country, finances, career plans make sense for your individual profile. And this is where professional guidance can make a major difference. At Jagannath Consultants, our role is not simply to help a student submit an application. The journey begins with understanding the student's profile, goals, academic background, and budget. From university shortlisting and application support to visa assistance, scholarship guidance, travel planning, and pre-departure preparation, every stage needs to be approached carefully. And the support shouldn't stop with the visa. Students also need to understand accommodation, arrival, settling into a new country, and eventually planning their career. Our objective is simple: to make the study abroad journey more organized, transparent, and manageable. Your journey, our promise. Every student's journey is different. Some students know exactly what they want. Others know they want to study abroad but are not sure which country, course, or university is right for them. That's why our approach starts with the conversation. First, we understand your goals. Then we assess your profile, create a suitable shortlist, prepare the application, support the visa process, and help you prepare for the transition to Europe. Think of it as a journey with several stages, not one single application. From the first counseling conversation to your arrival in Europe, the objective is to make every step clearer. Getting an admission letter is not the end of the journey. In many ways, it is only the beginning. Students have to arrange accommodation, prepare for travel, understand what to expect after arrival, and adapt to a completely new environment. That's why post-arrival support can be just as valuable as pre-departure guidance. From accommodation assistance and airport-related support to academic guidance and career preparation, students benefit from knowing that someone is available to guide them. Because studying abroad is not simply about reaching Europe. It's about successfully building a new chapter of your life once you get there. Now let's make the process simple. If Europe is something you are seriously considering, you don't need to figure everything out on your own. Step 1 is to connect with an experienced counselor and discuss your profile. Step 2 is to assess your profile and create a realistic country and university strategy. Step 3 is to prepare the application, documents, tests and other requirements. And step 4 is to move towards the visa, pre-departure preparation, and finally your journey to Europe. The earlier you start, the more chances you generally have. So if you are thinking about the 2027 intake, this is the right time to start planning, not when the deadline is already approaching. Behind every application is a real student with a real dream. For one student, that dream might be studying data science in the UK. For another, it might be business in the Netherlands, engineering in Germany, fashion in Italy, or hospitality in Switzerland. The destination and course may change, but the objective remains the same: to make an informed decision and successfully move from ambition to reality. At Jagannath Consultants, we believe that student success is not simply processing an application. It's about building a journey that the student can look back on with confidence. And perhaps the next success story we feature will be yours. Choosing the right study abroad pathway can genuinely influence the next several years of your life. That's why we believe counseling should go beyond simply recommending a university. It should involve understanding your goals, evaluating your options, planning your application, and preparing you for what comes next. At Jagannath Consultants, we aim to combine expert guidance with personalized support and transparent communication throughout the journey. Because when you make the right decision today, you are not simply choosing a university. You are taking the first step towards the future you want tomorrow. Every student begins with a dream, but turning that dream into reality requires planning, preparation, and the right guidance. Our approach is to walk with you through the journey, from understanding your profile and selecting the right university to preparing applications, supporting the visa process, and helping you settle into your new environment. And even after you reach Europe, your journey continues. The goal is not simply to send students abroad. The goal is to help them make a decision that supports their academic, professional, and personal growth. Your dream gives us the direction. Our commitment is to help you navigate the journey. And finally, let's come back to the most important person in the entire presentation: you, the student. Your future is unique, and there is no single destination or university that is perfect for everyone. What matters is finding the right combination of program, country, budget, university, and career opportunity. That's exactly why your study abroad journey deserves proper research and personalized guidance. At Jagannath Consultants, our promise is to support you with honest advice, suitable options, and end-to-end assistance throughout your journey. So, if Europe is part of your future, don't just dream about it. Plan it, prepare for it, and let's work together to achieve it. Thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next episode of our Study Abroad series.